The visit by Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman to Washington, D.C. this week ended with a bang. Just as the Crown Prince was heading back to Riyadh on Wednesday evening, the U.S. Commerce Department announced it had approved the transfer of tens of thousands of the most advanced NVIDIA chips to Humane, the Saudi artificial intelligence startup, as well as its regional rival G42 in the UAE. How did the visit go overall? Artificial intelligence was definitely the big focus of this two-day trip by the Saudi Crown Prince to the US capital. And it was perhaps a bit of an exception to discussions and meetings that were long on enthusiasm but somewhat short on details. We expected big numbers, and big numbers we got. The Saudi Crown Prince said Saudi Arabia will increase its investment in the United States to $1 trillion from the $600 billion he had previously pledged earlier this year. US President Donald Trump said during an investment forum in the US Capitol that some $270 billion worth of new deals would be signed on Wednesday alone. How these figures are tallied up and whether they'll materialize in full over the long run remains to be seen. What about artificial intelligence? What was the news there? In AI, we saw many new deals and quite a bit of granularity added to frameworks that had been agreed to in principle when President Trump visited the Gulf, including Riyadh, 6 months ago. NVIDIA, Elon Musk's company xAI, AMD, Qualcomm are among the several big American names in advanced technology that announced new or expanded partnerships with Humane and other Saudi counterparts to build data centers in the US or in the Kingdom, create AI content, and other goals. NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang, perhaps the most important person in AI at the moment, called Humane's growth.
This company is off the charts.
There were also deals in energy, for example. Aramco said it was signing some $30 billion worth of new partnership, and those go on top of the $90 billion of deals with American companies already agreed to in mid-May. One deal that went perhaps a bit unnoticed, but it was quite representative of Saudi Arabia's big ambition in terms of economic diversification, is that between MP Materials, an American producer of rare earths, and Saudi mining giant Ma'aden. The pair will build a refinery for rare earths in the Kingdom. What about the government-to-government level? Well, US President Donald Trump and Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman arrived at some important understanding in areas from energy to defense. For instance, Trump said he will sell F-35s, the American fighter jets, to Saudi Arabia. The White House also announced a framework to lay the foundations for some future cooperation on civilian nuclear energy. But neither of these agreements came with much details in terms of values and timelines and requirements for implementation. Even the US Commerce Department licenses to transfer NVIDIA chips to Humane did not come with a clearly spelled out timeline for the transfers to happen, but simply said the whole process was contingent on Humane implementing strict security protocols. What do we make of the visit overall? I think there are three big takeaways. First of all, interest by the US private sector, especially advanced technology and AI, into partnering with Saudi Arabia and Saudi companies, both here and there, is large and only growing. This will be a key driver of the relationship going forward. Secondly, it's clear that the US-Saudi ties at government level have moved past years of tensions following the murder of journalist Jamal Khashoggi in 2018. Third, and somewhat more problematic, questions remain about the feasibility and sustainability of all of these massive investment pledges in AI, in energy, in defense, in critical minerals. I think it will be vital for the credibility of this relationship that these massive commitments start gradually turning into action.